Hello everyone and welcome back. I am in Banff National Park. I am actually currently up at Sunshine Village, at the ski field up here. Obviously there's no snow here, but we're staying up at the Sunshine Mountain Lodge. We're right up at the corner suite right there with a great view of the chairlift. It's a really nice spot here actually. We've just been kind of exploring the area today. We've had a guided walk up into Sunshine Meadows, which is like the top of the ski field up here. We were up here in winter and it was great to come back and see everything with all of the snow melted away, and we can see what the actual landscape looks like. The other cool thing as well is that you'll probably see them in the background of the video. There's actually so many ground squirrels here. They are everywhere. There's thousands and thousands. So it's been great to see like all of the wildlife. We actually heard this morning there was a grizzly bear that walked right across this premises right here. It walked from over this direction, came across here, and it went up into the valleys, up in the Sunshine Meadow, and then later on today it was coming back through and it kind of passed through the area again. So I'm going to go down to the car park and get my telephoto lens. Would love to try and capture a grizzly bear up close. There's only been one other grizzly bear that we've seen in the wild, and that was down in Yellowstone National Park. So we've got a chance to see one up here. Hopefully we can see one. Let's go on a mission. We've got to catch the gondola down. The gondola doesn't run all day. I think the last one's at 6 p.m. So after that, that's it. You're walking up. Hey bro. Oh yeah. I need a ticket to go down.
Yep. Thank you.
Sweet. Thanks man. All right, in we go. So yeah, it's out of season here at the moment. Like this place isn't as busy as it was in winter when we came here, but the views are just as good, and it's a little bit more like manageable. If you come up here in winter, obviously you have to have like all of the snow gear, heavy layers, boots, ice spikes, or skis and snowboard, anything else that you want to do. There's a lot of gear, but when you come up here for hiking, like especially if you're just around the Sunshine Meadows area, you don't actually need that much. The main thing is like bear spray and then just a couple of layers because it can get a bit windy up there. But we are taking off on the gondola. It's so cool that this is the way to get to the hotel. Like I think this is the first hotel I've checked in where you have to take a gondola to the reception. It's a 15-16 minute ride all the way down, and it is beautiful. It's actually quite a long gondola, and there's a couple of stops along the way where it has to like, I don't know, maybe it gets like boosted by more motors, and then there's a corner as well. So hopefully we'll see some wildlife along the way. But yeah, it's been an amazing time up here so far. They've got stuff running up here in the summertime. Like last night at around 8 o'clock they had like campfire s'mores. They also do guided nature walks, which we've already been on. And what else do they do? I mean, there's lots of information and stuff, and they do like little events. There's a spa up here as well, so there's a hot tub and you can go and sit in that and do some stargazing, which hopefully we're going to do tonight. But just take in these views. It's a pretty amazing place. Now all of this like area around us is like normally all ski field. In fact, the road that you can see down there is actually the ski out. So when you're up at the ski resort in the winter, when you're finished up for the day, that's one of the funnest ways to get back down the mountain. Instead of riding the gondola, you can just like ski all the way down. This is the access road that they use in summer. So when I came here in winter, that was the first time that I ever did skiing. We were doing 3 days of lessons with a company here called Ski Big 3, and basically they taught us the bare basics of how to ski, what to do to stop, and it was a lot of fun. I had so much fun. I'm definitely going to be doing more skiing in the future when we go to Europe next. If you're wondering why I keep saying we, it's because I do all this traveling with my wife, and she's at the hotel with me. We have another YouTube channel and like a travel brand called CJ Explores, and we do travel content like all over. My wife is from England, I'm from New Zealand, and we met in Australia. So we're very used to like traveling a lot to see family and like going back and forwards between the different hemispheres. And yeah, we've just kind of like built this life around travel. So I've started a second channel. This is my other channel, just to share a bit more of like the real experiences of travel, because a lot of the stuff we do on our other brand is all like I guess it's like the highlight reel of everything. Like we're trying to put together these like concise travel guides where it's like really informative, really valuable, and there's no like fluff to it, whereas there's so much more to travel I think than what people show in the highlight reel. So that's why I decided to have another channel where I can share like the ins and outs of doing it. And I guess one of those things when you're a travel creator or a travel journalist, or you know, someone who works in the industry, you get invitations to hotels and lodges and stuff, and this place that we're staying at is one of those invitations. So we're very, very lucky to be given these opportunities. We're just going over a little cliff. Have a look. It's such a scenic ride, this gondola ride. This section here as well, this little like riverway or creek, that's another way that you can ski out. It's a little bit more technical than the main ski out road, but we were watching people do it when we were here in winter, which was quite cool to watch because it's much more like technical. But anyway, yeah, as I was saying, so we get a lot of invitations to stay at different places. What's super annoying actually is when we make our videos, often we've left the area. We might be like a week or 2 weeks after we've left the area, we put the videos on YouTube, on Instagram, on TikTok, and then we start to get all the invitations for the hotels in the area. We're like, guys, we've left already. It's like kind of frustrating, but I guess one of the things that we need to get better at is like maintaining those relationships for like future travel. So something we're working on. It's all like a learning progress. But yeah, here we're staying at Sunshine Village and we're in the mountain lodge. It's like quite nice. Our room is like beautiful with the view of the mountain, and we can see the chi lift going by. It's great, like floor to ceiling windows, super nice. And like I said, there's a spa, there's a gym, it's got like everything we need. The only thing that I wish we got included was food. We didn't talk about this like before we came up here, and it's kind of like, maybe it's something we should have discussed before we arrived, but we didn't think that we were like, we knew it was remote, you know, like to get in and out, we're in a bloody gondola for God's sakes. So we're basically restricted to eating dinner and breakfast, I guess, unless we wanted to like come down here in the morning and drive into Banff. Restricted to having the food that's here, which is a couple of places. They've got like a little cafe where you can get like pastries, croissants and sausage rolls and stuff like that, sandwiches. We had coffee there this morning. The coffee was pretty decent actually. We have Australian baristas. Anytime we go to a cafe and we've got Australian baristas, we know that the coffee is going to be decent. It's going to be what we expect. Whereas like other places that we've been, particularly in America when we've been traveling around, we go to order a coffee, you know, whether it's a latte or a cappuccino, and it's always a mystery. Like it's like what's going to come out, you know. But when we have an Australian barista, we know that we're going to get what we want, which is good. So the food here is good. There's the Mad Trappers Lodge, which is right in the middle of Sunshine Village, and it's actually the first lodge that was built in the area. This was like built, I guess, for people, the first kind of like people who were coming up here and doing like skiing and summer hiking and stuff like that. Initially this place kind of got popular because of the Canadian Pacific Railway. So this is like something that we've like continuously learned all around our trips around Canada, is the Canadian Pacific Railway is like the lifeblood of like all of these places. If it wasn't for the Canadian Pacific Railway, the CPR, a lot of these places wouldn't be what they are today. They've just like grown and developed from that initial kind of tourism. I think what happened is like they wanted to unite the East and the West, you know, with this railway. They pretty much like had it easy all the way from the east until they hit the Rockies, and then everything got really, really hard. So that's when they decided like, well, they needed more money to try and fund the railway. So I think that's when they started to do the whole tourism thing. Basically people would come over from Europe and they would arrive by ship into one of the cities in the east, and then they'd take the railway across and like do this rocky mountain experience. We're just going into one of the little corners. This is like a little slow area. So I think in winter this is Goat's Eye Station, and you can get out here to go to another section of the mountain, and this is the most extreme section of the mountain with these like crazy steep chutes and stuff that you can go down. We didn't do any of that, obviously. It was our first time experiencing skiing, so we just stuck to the main mountain. But here's where you get off if you want to do some more technical stuff. We're about to take off. This is where we get boosted. I do love riding these gondolas, and I think it's so cool that this is the way to get to the hotel. Alright, let's go. Whoa! Look at that view, the mountain. It's so cool. So yeah, it's pretty amazing place. I'm like so glad to be back here in the Rockies. Now when those Europeans were first coming over for the initial tourism rush that was going on, there was a huge emphasis on the hot springs. They had the hot springs here in Banff, and yeah, they would build these big hotels. I think it's the Fairmont Hot Springs they built. They basically would house the tourists and they'd take them to the hot springs. At this time in history, there was like a big focus on like the health and wellness of hot springs. So people would basically say that if you go into the hot springs, it had like healing properties and it would cure you of all of your illnesses. But back in those days, I guess like the science wasn't very wasn't what it is today, and like people were like sick and maybe had diseases, and I just think it's a breeding ground for like germs and bacteria to go into a warm water situation and people being all sick in there. But anyway, that's what they did. So there was a big European health and wellness kind of rush here in Banff, and that's what funded a lot of the railway. But yeah, that's what happened. And then the Europeans as well, they would come up into the mountains. Europeans obviously know a lot more about mountaineering than I guess oh my goodness, we're getting a bit windy here. It's quite high up. We're quite high off the ground, and it's not very nice when it starts swaying. But yeah, the actual mountain guides, the first like mountain guides that came over, I think there was a lot of Swiss, Italian and Austrians. They were the ones who really knew how to survive in the mountains. So those were the first like really proper guides. I think there were guides before that, but a lot of them were like dying in the mountains, so not very good guides. But yeah, it's the Europeans who kind of like really pioneered the outdoor mountaineering side of things here in Canada, which is pretty cool. But yeah, it's been really, really lovely, our stay here. We're hoping to do a lot more around Banff. Now in summertime, all the lakes are unfrozen, so we can finally go and see the actual water. We were at Lake Louise, which is just nearby, and this is the famous Lake Louise, Chateau Lake Louise, I think it's called. It's like a super nice, luxurious, it's an old CPR, Canadian Pacific Railway hotel, and it's right on the lake, so there's no way that they would allow that to be built now, but because it was built before the national park was like existed, before they decided it was a national park, it was allowed to be built there. And now it's this like really, really luxurious hotel next to this glacier fed lake, and that's the reason why it's like so popular as well, because it gets that beautiful glacier flour that you get from the glacier grinding down the rocks. Oh my god, we're really swinging and like going past the poles. It's a bit of a concern. But yeah, there's some really beautiful lakes around here, so we're hoping to see, I can hear an eagle. We're hoping to see some more of those lakes while we're here, and even hopefully, that eagle's so loud. We're really swinging, and oh my god, we're getting close to that. Jesus. Is there like any safety mechanism to stop it from swinging? Yeah, there's an eagle just like, you can hear it. Yeah, I don't want this to be like swinging when we go past the pole. It's a little bit frightening. Kind of crazy. But for spotting wildlife, this place in particular has been amazing. Obviously, we've seen already thousands of ground squirrels. We haven't seen the grizzly, but we know there is a grizzly around, at least one. There's also been talks of a mother and her cubs being spotted in the area as well. So yeah, that's what we're going to go do. Go down to our car in the car park and grab my telephoto lens so we can try and capture some of those shots for our other channel. Yeah, and we've also, so when we were driving up this road, so like the Sunshine Village access road from the highway, I guess it's quite a quiet road, and when we were driving along there we saw two of the hoary marmots, which are like, I guess like local to the area, and we saw a family of bighorn sheep as well, and we also saw a chipmunk like running across the road. So here, just for like spotting wildlife even from the access road, is really great. Now Sunshine Village, you can visit this place without being a guest at the hotel. You can just get like a day pass to come up in the gondola, and if you're looking for something to do in Banff, I would recommend, it's like a really, really nice thing to do, because it's like, it's an experience in itself just riding the gondola to get up to the Sunshine Village. There's food up there, there's like a bar up there, so you can go, I don't know, watch some sports or have a drink in the bar, have some lunch, and then you can go for a walk around Sunshine Meadows. There's a few lakes up there as well, which is quite cool to go and see. It's basically like a full day out in the summertime, and you're in this part of Banff which is like not super busy, which is quite nice. I think they are trying to grow the tourism here, like they want more people to come up here, so that's partly like why we've come up here as well, to like feature this in our guide, because we think it's a great thing to do in the summertime in the area, because there's a lot of places around Banff. We're just coming up to the corner now. Ooh. So there's a lot of places around Banff that get like way too busy in the summertime, and like Lake Louise is one of them. The other one is Moraine Lake, is supposed to be super popular. We haven't been there yet, but we've heard it can get quite crazy busy. So we're going to check that out and see what it's really like. You used to be able to drive up to Moraine Lake, but now there's like the bus system that has stopped like private vehicles going up there. Only commercial vehicles can go up. So the Parks Canada, I think they manage like the national park buses that go up there, and I think they're fairly cheap as well, maybe like $10. But there are other private companies that have also been allowed to run their buses up there, and those companies are charging like nearly 10 times the price. They're like completely capitalizing on the scarcity of those Parks Canada cheap bus tickets, because there's not that many, and as soon as they get released they all get booked up and reserved. So yeah, there are some companies that do it, but it's like $70 I think for a pass to one of the lakes. We're working with Banff and Lake Louise Tourism on this trip as well, so we have access to a bunch of this stuff for free, which is good for us, because we do get to like capture all these experiences and then show those in a travel guide. And yeah, one of those experiences is the Moraine Lake shuttle bus thing. So we're definitely going to go there. We just got to figure out what days we're going to do that. We're actually staying around Banff for the next couple of weeks, and yeah, we're in our RV after this. I don't think we have any more hotel stays, because this is like peak season for the area. So like a lot of the hotels, even the ones that we stayed at in winter time, they said to us that they can't host any like media stays during this time of year, because it's just like they're pretty much at capacity anyway. Like they don't have any space to have like media people come and stay at the hotel, and they're making their money. Like the hotel stays here at this time of year is probably the most expensive that they're going to get. We looked at one of the Airbnbs that we stayed at even, and that was like, it was like $750 a night. So it's like really, really expensive, and that was like out of the national park, like not even in like an ideal location. So it was, yeah, eye-opening to see the pricing of like accommodation here. So we're pretty thankful when we can get stays like this. Otherwise we're in the RV. Now in the RV we have found a really great alternative for like staying in the campsites, because a lot of the campsites can get booked up as well. Like it's such a popular summer destination here. So we're in an overflow car park at Lake Louise, and it's basically a car park like kind of like this. It's just like a big old car park that allows you to stay overnight in an RV or in like a self-contained vehicle. They've got toilets there. There's no power, there's no water, there's no sewage, so you're pretty like self-sufficient. But when you're in an RV, that's like completely fine. We got a little creek running down here, and we've landed. But yeah, the overflow car park, $10 a night, and we get everything that we need. So it's definitely been a great little travel hack for the area if you're traveling by RV. How cool is that? Like the people are checking in, got their luggage with them, and they're checking into the hotel via Gondola. So cool. It's so different to see this place in summer. Like this place when we arrived last time this was all snow, the whole place. It was like so beautiful, but to see it all in summer, like no snow around, is kind of crazy. Oh, look at this. This is what the bighorn sheep, that I don't think they get this big. This is what they look like. I think this is a male one with this big horns, and then one of these guys. So yeah, some of the animals that you can see around the area. But here we are surrounded by mountains. It is the perfect location for a ski field. And yeah, like I said, great for spotting animals. Alright, we need to go and find our RV. There it is, I see it. So this next wee while is going to be pretty full on for us with our traveling. We've got the Banff stuff that we're doing now, and that's like I think we're going to be pretty busy for the next couple of weeks doing all the filming, because not only are we like filming new content, but we're also like editing stuff on the go as well. So we're still producing all of our content from the States. We did, I think it was nearly 6,000 kilometers we did in the States, maybe even more. We covered a lot of ground, and yeah, there's still a lot of stuff that we're yet to put out from that trip. So yeah, there's all of that, as well as the stuff that we've filmed up in Jasper. You guys would have seen that we were there recently. Yeah, there's a lot to do, as well as filming, as well as traveling and doing all the experiences that we want to do and capture. Yeah, there's a lot going on. Now after Banff, we're actually going to Europe. We've been invited to go for a cruise around the Mediterranean, and that's going to be with a cruise line. I think they're based in the States, so it's an American company, but yeah, the cruise is through Europe. Oh, something's beeping. Was it our fridge? Uh-oh, hang on a sec. Turn it off and turn it on again. Alright, I need to grab my camera. Alright, the fridge is back on. Let's see if it fires up. So the fridge is like gas operated, and I mean, it should just turn on, but it has been struggling recently. It keeps ticking, but we've definitely got gas. I don't know why. We've still got gas in the tank, but it's like it's just not igniting. Not sure what to do about that. I can hear it. I think it might have been when we went down like a really dusty road. So maybe the ignition switch is like got covered in dust or something, and now it doesn't light. Not sure. Maybe I should run the generator and see if that helps it. Just turn the generator on, see if that helps. Why is the fridge still beeping? So strange. It's on AC now. It should be fine to keep running. It's really weird. Okay, I think the fridge has fixed itself. I just turned it off and on again a couple of times, and it sounds like the flame is ignited. It uses a flame to do like some sort of chemical reaction in there, and that's how it keeps it cool, but I don't understand it fully, how it uses a heat like a flame to make it cold. It's a bit strange, but I guess it's been working for the whole time that we've been traveling. Last couple of months we've been in the RV, coming up to 3 months actually, and we've done about 9,600 kilometers. A lot of that was through the States, but we've also done a lot in Vancouver Island and around, like, yeah, down the coast of the States was the main consumption of those kilometers. But alright, let's head back up. I've got my camera, I've also got the power bank. We've got a big power bank which keeps all of our stuff charged up and running while we're on the road, and because we're going to be here for 2 more nights, we need to have this powered up before we leave. So I'll get that charged up while we're in the nice comforts of the hotel. And yeah, everything will be ready to go for when we go back to the Lake Louise overflow. And they've got a shuttle bus as well. So if you are staying here, you can get a shuttle bus into town and then back out here. Okay, give it. All right, in we go. Another one, another ride, another journey. It is kind of like, it's a big effort to get to the car when you're staying here. So you do kind of want to be just like fully staying up at the mountain. But yeah, I guess you could do some day trips. I think on the weekends actually, maybe it's just Friday nights, they do late gondolas up to I think about 10 o'clock at night. So if you wanted to go out for dinner in Banff and then like come home after, or come back to the lodge after dinner, you can do that right up until about 10 o'clock at night. So that's also an option as well. Alright, ready to take off? We're going to get boosted up the hill again. It goes up pretty steep initially. Flying up. It's a pretty cool way to get to a hotel, I must say. There's some places where I imagine there's probably waterfalls like in the springtime when all the snow's melting up on this mountain here. But right now everything's pretty dry. When we did our road trip up to Jasper, we went on the Icefields Parkway, which was super beautiful, like amazing drive to get up there. And yeah, the water coming out of those lakes, I guess a lot of those lakes have actually only recently thawed out, so they're probably quite full as well, and all that snow melt as well fills up those lakes, and then it all comes rushing down the rivers. There's one river in particular, the Athabasca River, that was just pumping so hard. It was like so much water. It created this whole cloud of mist around it. We visited luckily just as the sun was setting, so we had that like golden light coming through the mist. It was like beautiful. Some of those moments when you're traveling are just like so unreal. You will never forget, like, you know, that how you felt in that moment, and seeing that in person is like so amazing. The hard thing for us is that when we go and see these things and experience these places, we also have to film it as well, which is something that I'm not against. Like, that's my passion, it's what I enjoy doing, is like capturing stuff. But yeah, like living in the moment and filming, sometimes those things are like at odds with each other. But I do enjoy it. It's something that a lot of people do ask me when they find out what I do, and they say, you know, do you feel like you're just filming everything and you're not actually there in the moment? But to be truthful, I actually feel like I enjoy filming so much, and I love editing afterwards to go through that footage and like relive that experience. And because we do so much content like on YouTube, we're constantly producing videos, that whole experience of like reliving those moments is something that I do week in and week out, and I just love it so much. I've tried actually before to like not film stuff. We went to Bali once and I decided not to film stuff, to just try and be present in the moment, you know, that whole kind of thing. And I regretted it. I regretted not having all the footage to edit afterwards. Bit bumpy going in there. So yeah, filming for me is like cathartic, and then the whole editing process again is like really enjoyable. So I don't feel like I'm missing out. I feel like I get to experience stuff like over and over again. And then even sometimes we get to like re-edit footage, so we'll like go back. I've got so much footage, it's ridiculous, like terabytes and terabytes. I've got so many hard drives, and they're in the UK at the moment, but I need to get these hard drives like onto a online like cloud server so I can access all the footage like at any time. Something that I'll do next time we go to the UK. But yeah, we've got so much footage, and occasionally we'll like go back and edit some content into like a new travel guide with updated information, and maybe there might be like, for example, like Sicily, like going into summer, so we'll try and put out content around that like seasonal kind of timing. And yeah, even then I get to like relive the experience and go back to those like, even the like drone shots and stuff. I love nothing more than just like a really like well done drone shot with like nice cinematic movement, beautiful like well exposed clear waters. It just makes me so happy when I get to go back and like see those shots that I've captured along the way. But I am going to end up with a huge library of footage. A lot of it will be like talking footage. I don't save these videos. These are the only videos that I don't save onto a hard drive because they're so long and like they don't really have any other purpose. I don't think I'd ever use these, and if I did want to, I could always just download this off YouTube and then use it again in the future, but I don't think I ever would. But the other footage, because it's like a lot of B-roll, there's A-roll, which is like talking about this stuff, we could use that in future content, but the B-roll of the places is like really important because we can use that and repurpose that content in future videos, or even reference that old content in videos about something else completely, where we might mention maybe going to Sicily or whatever, or like doing trains around Europe. Like we've got so much content to go through, so that's actually the goal in the future. Like I can't do this kind of like traveling forever. At some point I'm going to have to stop and settle down, and in the future I think that would be the key to doing that, is like having all of that footage in a library we can access, and we just produce content from the old footage that we've already got, and in that way I think we'd be able to still produce content for our main channel, still produce travel guides, but not have to be traveling so much. I don't think I'll ever like stop traveling. You know, a lot of people wait to go traveling until they're like retired, like in their 60s, and then they go, right, now I'm going to travel. But I see a lot of people when we're traveling who don't have the physical mobility. They've got plenty of money and plenty of time, but they don't have the physical ability to enjoy traveling like we can when we're younger. And I think that's such a shame. Like that's one of the biggest reasons why I've tried so hard to like build this life around making money while traveling. When I was like maybe 18, 19, 20, I made it kind of like my mission to figure out how to be a YouTuber and to turn it into my job. And now I've done that, and now I'm like enjoying the benefits of doing that. Yes, it's like it's hard work behind the scenes doing all the editing while you're on the road, and there's like many tired late nights and early mornings and stuff when you're like trying to film and edit and do everything at the same time. But I think in terms of like life experience, I think that I'm going to have such a rich life because of it. And yeah, that's the way that I want to live my life. I want to have a life full of experiences, doing new stuff all the time. And even when I slow down and I settle down, I still think that I'll be going off, you know, at least once every 3 months or so, like going and traveling and seeing something new or doing something new. I'm really looking forward to the next stage in the evolution of our business, where I thought I could see something on the road up there. I thought it was a bear or something, but I think it's just like a mirror or something for a corner. But the next stage in our business is going to be when we start to maybe bring other people onto our team to help out with the workload, and that will inevitably allow us to like have more free time to do other stuff, whether that's to do more filming when we're out and about, or maybe we just take some time to like work on some other projects, whether that's like, I don't know, designing like products, digital products, or merchandise, or I don't know, like there's so many different ideas around how we could like go to the next level with our business. But we are definitely getting to that stage now where the bottleneck is the editing workflow while we're traveling. So yeah, that's kind of gonna be the next thing, is like getting an editor. And then I think once we have a good editor, then we can maybe even look at getting someone in who could be like a good maybe not channel manager, but someone who could have a bit of direction and like what pieces of content need to be produced. And then we go back to the library of content that we've got and start basically mining the library for like all of the stuff that it's full of, all of the great shots, and like turning that into more content as well. Basically, the more content that we put out there, the bigger the more our revenue grows, the more our views grow. Everything kind of like flows on from that, and then we're at that stage where we could like employ other people to help and keep growing, I guess. It's kind of like the goal. Keep producing content, keep making more videos, and maybe slowing down actually physically traveling so much, but still enjoying like traveling, like maybe more for like personal pleasure as well. There's like so many things that I would love to do. I think in the future I'd love to like go off and do my own adventures, not with my wife, but like solo missions that wouldn't necessarily interest her to do, but would be like really exciting for me to do. Maybe like mountain biking, or like overnight hiking through mountains. I don't know, the Mongol rally has always interested me, like people who buy like a little car and they go traveling through all the way to Mongolia from Europe. There's like so many like crazy adventurous things. Maybe I'll get into running more. Maybe like there's one other channel which I watch a fair bit of, Cara and Nate. They're like the big travel YouTubers, and something that Nate has been getting into a lot is like these long distance runs. He like travels around the world and does these like crazy runs in all these like locations around the world. That looks like a lot of fun. I think I'd like to maybe look at doing, I don't know, like half marathons. Getting to that age now where you have to prove to yourself that you've still got it, like can run and be physically fit and everything. So there's like many other things that I'd love to do aside from just like traveling for like 25%, editing for 75% of my time awake. We need to like kind of get that balance in check a little bit. But we'll get there eventually. It's like a work in progress, and like I said, we're at that stage of the business now where we are looking at expanding and how we can grow and create more time for ourselves. So the American content has been really good for our channel growth. Like we've had a lot of new viewers from the States, and if you know anything about advertising, there's like different levels of like audience. You can have like a tier 1, tier 2, tier 3 audience, and any like country with like high purchasing power is like a tier 1 audience. So that would be places like Canada, USA, Australia, even New Zealand, the UK, all those countries like for advertising is like high value. So if they have a high purchasing power, the advertisers want to pay more money to get their ads in front of those people, and because the advertisers pay more money to YouTube, that means that our videos earn more money when they get those views. So yeah, our stuff that went through the States has been performing quite well. It's been getting good views and good engagement. I find North Americans like so engaged on YouTube far more than Australia and New Zealand. Like I feel like Australians and Kiwis are, even UK, are much more like passive viewers, whereas like in the States and Canada, the viewers are like part of the conversation. They know that this is like a two-way conversation and they get right involved, talking to you back and forth. Like people don't just like leave a comment and then never come back. Like if you reply, they'll come back and reply to you, and you can have like a full-on conversation with your viewers, which is quite cool. We have been getting like a lot of like positive feedback and a few bits of constructive criticism, some like personal preferences we've noticed. Some people think the editing is too fast on the other channel, but it's all like good data, you know. It's interesting for us to go through and to like read, and then just to have like an engaged audience as well is like super valuable for for advertisers. The more like comments that we get on our channel and everything, the better it looks for advertisers who want to advertise on our channel. So yeah, everything's going good right now, and we like to keep on this trajectory growing. We're gonna hit 90k very shortly, like within the next couple of weeks, and then the next target is 100k, and the speed at which we're growing is the fastest that we've ever grown in the past. So it just feels like it's getting faster and faster, which is why I'm like starting to think of all the things that we need to do to be ready to be able to produce more content. It's exciting times. It's so nice to just ride the gondola up and down. So beautiful, the scenery here. I think we're going to get in the hot tub tonight. Maybe have a gym sesh, have a shower, then go into the hot tub, and then pick one of the places for dinner. We had dinner in the Chimney Corner Lounge last night, and it was good. It was pretty good. The staff, I feel like the staff there were quite new, like just started the season, so maybe they were still getting used to like the menu, what was going on with like in the kitchen. Maybe they were a bit stressed out. They felt a bit like they weren't 100% sure what was going on, but I guess, you know, they were young and they were new staff members. They'll figure it out slowly. So we might try the Mad Trappers tonight, which is the old lodge that they used to use for tourism here. Go and check out their menu. I know they got some poutine here, which is one of my favorites. Chips, cheese and gravy. Nice and easy, but I might have to go for a run to make up for it. It's a very like heavy meal. But yeah, aside from that, we're just gonna enjoy our time up here for the next couple of days. Try and capture some wildlife. I'm going to be up at the crack of dawn tomorrow to try and capture this bear that's in the area. Hopefully it just takes a little wander through the lodging area again, and I'll be able to capture it from the balcony. That would be amazing. And yeah, I might do some editing. We're going to do some planning for the rest of our time here in Banff. There's canoeing we want to do. There's a via ferrata up at Mount Norquay, which is another ski field up here, but obviously they need to do summer activities. So the via ferrata is something that they do there. I've never done a via ferrata, so I'm going to give it a go. It should be fun. And then yeah, we're just filming loads of stuff around Banff. We wanted to get more collaboration with like brands and hotels and stuff, but like I said, like it's peak season and a lot of places are just like so busy they can't even entertain the requests at the moment. It's just too much for them. So yeah, we're doing stuff with the tourism board here as well as this company, and then we'll be doing a bunch of activities, but aside from that we'll be on our own. and just cruising around doing our own thing. But yeah, I hope you've enjoyed this little insight into my life as a travel content creator, and enjoy the views along the way. Yeah, I'm gonna head up to the hotel now and do some work for a couple of hours before we go for dinner and have a spa later. Alright guys, thanks for watching. Leave me a comment, let me know what you enjoyed, what you didn't enjoy, and I'll be sure to make more of these videos in the future. Alright, bye.